Today we are going to talk about the Princess move-over offers that some Let's Go family members are receiving, as well as the Princess bidding process. I don't know if anyone has any insight into that, but I'm going to share with you what's going on. We're going to talk about big changes to Princess's Transpacific sailing later this year, as well as some updates. The other day I did a video all about what some people who are new to cruising and new to Princess need to know. I've got a few updates for you on that, as well as how the whole ticket system is working if you are in Skagway and you want to get off the ship. So we've got a lot to talk about again today. Let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday, it's May 16th of 2023, and I just barely got off the phone with a Let's Go family member, and it was such a pleasure to be able to speak with her. But there's a couple of things I wanted to tell you about on her very recent cruise on Princess, just so that you have it in your back pocket and are prepared for your next cruise with Princess. First of all, we'll start with the good. She said that the entertainment was very good. The only part of the entertainment that wasn't great was the comedian. She said it was just kind of boring, not really entertaining. So, and we've been hearing that a lot lately about some of the comedians on some different Princess ships. So that sounds like it's in line with what we're hearing. The main thing that I wanted you to be aware of is they are people who enjoy, as so many of us do, that when you are on a cruise and that the traditional dining experience. Princess no longer has traditional dining from the standpoint that you don't go sit at the same table every night at the same time with the same servers automatically. They have their anytime dining, and so the closest that you generally can get to that is making a reservation for the same time every evening, and then once you get there and you, like on your first night, asking the maitre d' if you can please sit at that same table every night during the cruise with those same waiters, the same wait staff. And sometimes, often, we are hearing that people are able to do that. They are very accommodating and let them do that. However, on this cruise that these good people were just on, as well as the one that they were on in October, both times the maitre d' said, nope, we don't do that anymore. And they would not accommodate that. So every evening they just came at their reservation time and they had to sit at a different table. The reason I'm telling you that is because I know there are a lot of people that don't care what time they eat or if they sit at the same table or not. That's not a thing. But there are still a lot of us who really do enjoy that experience. And Gordon and I do, especially if we sit at a table and we have an amazing wait staff. I love it. And we do ask to sit at the same table, because then on the second night I come and sit down and my Diet Coke is already sitting there because they know I'm coming. And I love that. Or if we if one reservation time isn't ready and we have to take another time to eat at that table, and we do, then once they see us, they know exactly what we like and they bring it, and it's wonderful. And we do give a good tip. So I just wanted to let you know that it seems like that option is not available on all ships, even if you ask. So you might say, well, what is an option on that? You can try another cruise line that still does do that traditional dining. My first choice with that would be on Celebrity. They still have a dining time. They'll seat you at 6 and they'll seat you at 8:30. Now, if you want to go be seated at another time, as long as they've got availability, they'll seat you at another time. That's not a problem. And I can see that especially on nights if you're in port longer. I think of that a lot with our Holy Land cruise coming up, where we're going to Israel and Egypt. Those are all very long port days. We've got overnights, and so that is going to tweak dining a little bit, maybe at what time you'll want to eat. But generally, you can go do that. But otherwise, you have your certain table that you will be seated at 6 o'clock, and you will have the same wait staff. Same with 8:30. You have the table you're going to sit at. It's the same for your whole cruise. So just wanted to bring you all up to date on that, because I think it is something that really impacts the cruise experience. I'm hoping Princess will reevaluate, and maybe even, if they haven't made this choice to not accommodate people, remind all of the maitre d's on all of their ships that some people who have cruised Princess for a very long time really enjoy that, and we should take care of our loyal guests. Alrighty, we are hearing of some more move-over offers, and I wanted to let you know about this one particularly because they also have some bidding on an upgrade experience, which is really kind of interesting. So first of all, yesterday, May 15th, they received a move-over offer for a sailing going tomorrow, May 17th, out of Vancouver to Alaska. that close is how quickly they receive the move over offer. So the move over offer is basically if you will move to another sailing, it can be another sailing to Alaska, they will take your cruise fare, all your money that you paid, and turn it into an onboard credit on that cruise. So you basically get all the money back, and anything you don't spend on the ship, they will send you a check for it at the end of that cruise. And so, of course, you have to weigh in your mind what you're going to do. Personally, as I was reading their email to me, I thought, if they know they can go on this trip and they're excited for it, I think they should go. And indeed, that's what they chose. Now, I'm not saying everybody always has to pick that, because you know what? Sometimes we go on lots of cruises for different reasons, or we're just going, not for something special. This is a special cruise. So there's lots of different reasons, and there are reasons to accept move over offers. I don't think you should ever do that. Now, so they went ahead and kept their cruise, and so they are going to indeed go tomorrow. Now, here's a really interesting, so two things about that shows that, let's see, the Ruby Princess is definitely full, sailing tomorrow. But another interesting thing is the upgrade system. So these Let's Go family members are cruising with other people, and they said that they just last minute put a bid for just a little bit over the minimum. They placed a bid for just a little bit over the minimum for a premium for a deluxe balcony, and it was accepted. The interesting thing is they are cruising with people who placed bids much earlier, back when they were first available. They paid much more over the minimum bid, and their bids were not accepted. So if anybody has any insight to how the Princess bidding system works, to how all of that works, tell us, because I think it will help all of us know what to do. Is it better to bid last minute? And why do people who bid earlier, why are their bids not accepted when their bid is greater for the same cabin? That's interesting to me. So if anybody has insight, experience, anything, let us know what you're figuring out, because we'd all really like to know. Now, another really interesting thing going on right now, and this is firsthand experience with me, and I'll tell you, it's our daughter. They wanted to go on a cruise this summer, and it's waitlisted. So we put in a waitlist booking for them, and we're waiting. Well, they got the email, which interestingly enough, Princess emails them and does not notify me. So she calls me up and she says, you know what, our waitlist has been accepted, but there's a new price. So it's for the category that they wanted, but it's $900 more than the amount we put down as how much it would cost, right? We put the deposit down on how much the cruise fare would be at the time we placed the wait list, which was only like a week or so ago. So $900 more, which was not how much they wanted to pay for that. And so when you place a wait list, you have the option that you can accept the wait list, you can get off the wait list and they'll refund your deposit, or you can just put yourself back on the wait list and see if they get picked up again. So that's what they decided to do. So we've done that. But here is my big question to you. Are you all seeing this with wait lists? Is it common? I have never had a wait list picked up for more money. Whenever I've had someone's wait list picked up, it has always been for the amount that they booked it for. And so to have it be $900 more is amazing to me, that it would be that much more. So first of all, I wanted to make you aware of that. When you place a wait list, you are not necessarily going to get it for that price. And I will let you know what happens down the road with this. But I don't know. I don't think it's really cool when you book a cruise at a certain price. To me, it's like, with our next cruise booked, Holland America calling us up and saying, you know what, we've decided you should pay $900 more. That's not how it works. And so, yeah, let me know what you think about that and what your experience has been. But I wanted to give you a heads up on that so that if you are pretty sure or really hopeful you're going to get your wait list, be aware it might not be at the price. Now, Princess has a Transpacific sailing that is going to sail on September 26th. So I don't know if you remember, but we have been earlier this year, we heard a lot about how cruise ship hulls have to be cleaned to do with the biosecurity requirements that New Zealand has for cruise ships coming into their ports there. Well, the Grand Princess, which is running that Transpacific, they have decided that they have got to clean her hull before they get her to New Zealand. And so instead of calling in Hilo, Hawaii, and they've had to take 2 ports off of the cruise and then alter some of the stays in some of the other ports. So first of all, they are going to leave as scheduled on September 26th, and then they're going to get to Los Angeles, and they're going to have an overnight in Los Angeles while the hull gets cleaned, and people are not going to be able to get off the ship because of that overnight stay that they are going to have there in Los Angeles. And then so they will get there like at 11 p.m. September 27th and leave at 8 p.m. on the 28th. Because of that, they are going to have to take Hilo, Hawaii off of the itinerary and Mo'ore, French Polynesia, off of the itinerary as well. They're having to tweak some of the hours that the cruise ship is in port on some of the other port stops, but all of this is so they can have that hull ready to go to pull into the ports there in New Zealand. So I wanted to let you know about this in case you are booked on the cruise and you have not received the email yet. I know every once in a while people don't receive emails, and they even check their spam and they aren't getting the emails. I was surprised the other day I got an email from Princess. I was really excited. I have done what a lot of you said and gone in and checked and unchecked my box and all of this, and finally I got an email. But that is a heads up to those of you booked on that cruise. It is not changing the dates of your cruise, not your embarkation port, anything like that, but your time on the ship is going to be a little bit different than what you expected. And I felt really bad that they're getting some of those port stops taken off, but it's still going to be amazing to go on a Transpacific. Like, that's remarkable. Now, as I mentioned, for Saturday, I did a video with a bunch of information for people who, some new to cruising and new to Princess. And I've had some follow-up from some of you, and I really appreciated it, so I wanted to add that. So first of all, when I was talking on the video about not wanting to have your stateroom service during the time of your cruise, the nice gentleman who had sent me the email said, you know what, and I suspected as much. I just talked to enough people that there are some people who take off their gratuities. He said that is absolutely not what they were doing. They're leaving the gratuities, but they were just thinking, they were just wondering if that was an option. And so I had a Let's Go family member let us know that they tried using, so outside your cabin door, they've got that screen, works with your medallion. It shows, like when you walk up to it, shows your picture as it unlocks your cabin door. You can select, there's a button there to push for Do Not Disturb. And they were using that so that the cabin steward wouldn't come in. They said on the third day, one of the crew members came and said, can they please do a quick cleaning? Because if you don't have them clean a little bit every day as you are in the cabin, or at least, you know, every other day, something more frequently than not during the cruise, then it makes a whole lot more cleaning for the crew members on the day, like turnaround day, when they are crazy busy with cleaning. And so of course they let them do that. So I wanted to put that information out there to those of you that just for whatever reason would rather not have your room tidied the whole time. Another person said that they do that. Sometimes they'll go a couple of days, they'll ask for fresh towels when they want, they'll ask to have their trash can emptied. And I know that people do it for different reasons. They've got things organized in the cabin they want. They maybe don't want germs transferred between, you know, the crew member accidentally bringing any germs in. Let's Go family member mentioned that when several of the cabins around them were quarantined, they just didn't have the crew member come anymore, as they were thought maybe it would cut down on the transfer of germs. Wanted to let you know that's how it works. Another thing that was really interesting is we had Let's Go family members let us know that they just barely got off the Emerald Princess not long ago, and they did not have any tickets for the transfers. The transfer that they were going to be on was part of the color of the little luggage tag that they give you. So when you go on Princess and some of the other cruise lines as well, the luggage tags that they give you for disembarkation are associated with different groups. So with that sailing, the luggage tag was associated with that transfer. So when you went and picked up your luggage, you had the luggage tag, and then as you were leaving the building after you go through customs, they were able to direct you based on your luggage tag where to go. And I would add, I am never shy about asking for directions. So if you come out and nobody's directing you, ask where you're going. And I am also known for saying, is this bus going to? And I think it's just because I've traveled enough to know that you don't want to get on the wrong bus anywhere. I've done that before in Italy. And so, yeah, it wasn't far. It was in Rome. But I've learned now to say, is this bus going? And so just do that. That's what I would say. But be aware, if you know you've booked those transfers, and you don't get the ticket for it, don't panic. I would add also, someone added, and this is true, on Holland America, you don't get tickets. They have all of like their excursion things and everything in their app, and that's what you use, all right, for your tickets. Finally, as we were talking about excursions, I was letting you know that if you are on an excursion, that's wonderful. If you're on an excursion and it's not what you expected, it's not what you were hoping for, you can leave that excursion. Absolutely. You're not obligated to stay a part of that excursion. I didn't think to tell you, I told you I'm always forgetting to say what is just in my mind and obvious to me. First of all, if you leave the excursion, definitely tell the excursion leader, because when you get back on the bus or he or she is assembling you, they're counting. They want to know if they're missing anyone. So definitely tell them that you're leaving and how many people are going. So with Gordon and I, if we leave, we say 2 of us are leaving. All right. So make sure that your excursion leader knows that. The other thing is really important to know, and I think it's a given, you're in charge of getting yourself back to the ship. So make sure before you leave an excursion that you know what time all aboard is and how you're going to get back there. Because if you don't know what time all aboard is or you have no idea how to get back there, don't leave the excursion. All right. We have only left an excursion a couple of times, and both times it was in places that we really knew how to get back to the ship and what time we had to be there, without a doubt. So just wanted to make that really clear to all of you, and take that very seriously. It's really important. In some places it's really easy. Like when we left the excursion in Puerto Vallarta, it was really easy to know how we were going to get back to the ship. We knew exactly where we were and what we were doing, and that it would be okay. But there are some places I would never leave an excursion. So just be really clear on that. And then finally, we have a Let's Go family member that was really kind and mentioned the whole deal between ship's time and port time. Usually, and we talked about it a bunch last night in our live, so if you are interested, you should listen to our live anyway. People came with amazing questions. It's a really long live again. I think we're going to start paring it down so we're closer to an hour every time, because it's just kind of long. But anyway, usually the ship will change the time so that the ship's time is the same as the port time. So automatically, whatever time is showing on your device will be the time that is in the port, so you don't have to worry. That's the same. So when you're keeping track throughout the day, you can look at a clock on land there and see what time it is compared to what time you've got to be back on board. It's no problem. But there are some ports where it ends up that the time that the ship is running on is different than the time it is on shore. And that is when it gets tricky. So like I said, we talked about it there, but keep track. I always take usually a regular watch with me, just the regular kind with the hands on it, and set it to ship time so I don't have to worry about it. Gordon will always, we will take our phones off of the automatic. You know how usually, if you turn your phone on, you cell service in a location, it picks up local time. We will make it so that it automatically doesn't do that and have it on a time zone that stays with the ship. So we always know what time it is as far as the ship is concerned, so we're not an hour late getting back to the ship and then we've missed it. So be really careful with that. That's a really big deal. And if, like I said, people talked about it a lot and the things that they do to make sure it works smoothly for them. The last thing we're going to talk about is how those tickets are working if you are in Skagway. Skagway is really different this year than it has been before because of that Rockslide that happened last year. Last year, once the Rockslide happened, they had some workarounds that they used through the end of the cruise season. They worked on the Rockslide throughout the rest of the season, the off season, and were not able to make all the changes that they need to really secure that. So they have some other workarounds in place. Some of it is that you're going to be tendering. Even if you were not initially expecting to tender, they're going to run some of those tenders or water shuttles from the ship right in close to town there for you to use to get to your excursions or just to walk around the town. But if you are, they also have a system that they are going to shuttle you from one of the docks over on a bus. They're not going to let you walk through that area where the Rockslide happened, just to keep everything a little bit more secure. So I thought it would be really useful. We have a Let's Go family member who is so well connected. She actually knows the naturalist on board of the Discovery Princess, who was our naturalist. I think it's the Discovery Princess. It's that Mike. I can't pronounce his last name, but he was our naturalist when we went on the Majestic in August of 2021. He did a really good job. He's lived in Alaska. He has lived out very remotely, has a lot to share. But anyway, she knows him, and he sent her an update on how it is working. So when you are going to get off the ship there in Skagway, they are going to be operating a ticket system that starts at 7:30 in the morning. When you and your entire party are ready to proceed ashore, so you and your entire party, please collect a shuttle ticket in the Princess Live Theater, which is Deck 7 midship. You will be asked then to wait in the comfort of a public lounge until a shuttle is available, at which time announcements will be made calling the respective groups to the gangway. Shuttle services will be provided continuously following arrival, and it is approximately a 12-minute ride each way. You do not need a ticket if you are planning to disembark between 6 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. And mind you, this will depend on what time your ship is calling into port. This clearly was the time, in conjunction with what time they were going to be there. All guests booked in a Princess excursion, please meet at the time and location stated on your ticket, and therefore there is no need to collect your own shuttle ticket for disembarkation, and you are not required to have a ticket to return to the ship. I am sure that they've got a waiting area where you're going to be waiting, and then they'll take the shuttle loads of people over to the ship. But I thought that this was really, really helpful for everyone to know, to gather your group, that you're going to be getting a shuttle ticket. You'll be waiting in the public areas till they call your number. And with the ride just being 12 minutes back and forth, I am sure that they've got more than one shuttle running, and I bet you that moves pretty quickly. So just an update. Those of you that have experienced it, let us know. On our sailing on the Eurodome, we do not go to to Skagway. I chose it because it had Glacier Bay, it had Icy Strait Point. I haven't been to Icy Strait Point, and we have not been to Sitka. So that's why we chose the itinerary we chose, and then they took Icy Strait Point off in Glacier Bay. But that's okay. We're still going to have a wonderful time. But I'm really excited. I kind of wish I was going to Skagway this year so that I could see what's going on with it. But let us know. Let us know if you have any questions about anything to do with going on a cruise, with Princess, with anything. And if you have recently been on a ship, please do let us know how it's going. And it doesn't matter which cruise line. We love to hear about all the different cruise lines. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that subscribe button. We share lots of information here every day. We've got an amazing Let's Go family. Our Facebook group is Let's Go Travel Tips. So if you do Facebook, come over and join us. So much information there. Beautiful pictures, wonderful people. If you appreciate these updates, please give this video a thumbs up. And I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.